What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and this might be the most canceled game ever, the most decried video game in history. I suppose maybe one go would have to go back to like Postal and to really find something that had generated this level of anger. I've already covered the first wave of people trying to get this game canceled. Obviously, we're talking about 6 Days in Fallujah here. And now we've literally risen the exact same arguments that Jack Thompson made in the exact same rhetoric that he used to try and get this game removed from all platforms. And quite frankly, it's coming from the exact same people who were so quick to whine, don't like it, don't buy it, don't like it, don't play it, whenever they get their ultra woke video games made or their ultra woke stuff inserted into video games. And in this particular case, they're going after the game at such an aggressive level that honestly, it was a game that I'm not really that interested in. And now it's like making me want to buy it. It's just so weird. One thing that you can do while you wait for this game, though, is read a book from a viewer of the channel. Check this out. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Inhuman by Eric Leland. Look, I don't often do a lot of book sponsorships, but I mean, just look at this dude with his handlebar mustache and his gigantic beard. How could I say no? Here's what you need to know about the actual book. Inhuman is a military-themed supernatural thriller. A special forces team trapped behind enemy lines is hunted by one of their own when he is possessed by a demon. Features a female character who actually suffers for her goals. Think about how rare that is. That should be an auto buy right away. The author is an Iraq War veteran who wrote the book specifically to entertain troops who are stuck on a fob waiting for combat to happen. Eric is also an actual subscriber of The Quartering, and so I would argue that if you're looking for a good book to read, the author said I could be as casual as I wanted, and that's super rare to go out and reach out and support. If you read the book, and I hope that you do, you can pick it up on Kindle or Amazon or Goodreads. Make sure you leave a review for it too. Huge shout out to Eric. I love talking to my viewers who are doing something like this, creating culture, and that's exactly what I'm always talking about, which is why you should support Inhuman by Eric Leland. Link in the description and pinned comment below. That's right. Looks like a cool concept to me. Check out the book and support one of your fellow viewers in their journey to become an author. So there's a new call for an end to 6 Days in Fallujah. Claims the game is an Arab Ender simulator. That's literally the same words that Jack Thompson used, I think, about Grand Theft Auto back in the day. The Council for American-Islamic Relations, the largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization in the United States, has called on digital platform holders to refuse sale of 6 Days in Fallujah, with the organization arguing that the game is nothing more than an Arab Ender simulator. In a statement on April 7th, the agency stated that Microsoft, Sony, and Valve must ban from their platforms must ban 6 Days in Fallujah, an Arab Ender simulator, which will only normalize bad behavior against Muslims in America and around the world. They're really trotting out this old chestnut, right? Even though not a single study on the planet shows that video games are tied to any type of real-world bad behavior. It's never been linked. In fact, this rumor or this talking point has been debunked by more than a dozen studies that literally 5 seconds of Google search will take you to find. Yet they keep trotting this out. And then I remember even when I think Trump trotted that out during his presidency too. And I was like, dude, come on. Like, there's no verifiable link between video games and going out and doing terrible things, yet they keep saying it. Look, I play Call of Duty. I've probably ended thousands of in-game white characters, and I don't feel any more inclined to go do that out in the streets. It's just a ridiculous, absurd thing. All they're gonna do is perpetrate one of the biggest Streisand effects ever. Look, I don't think Steam's gonna bend the knee here. Could Microsoft? Could Sony? Maybe. But the fact of the matter is, these platforms already host Call of Duty, every or Escape from Tarkov, or every game in this genre for the past 10 years. What's different about this one? Because people are getting their panties in a bundle? The game industry must stop dehumanizing Muslims. Video games like 6 Days in Fallujah only serve to glorify bad behavior that took the lives of. I like all these people are now standing on their graves like they care. We'll get a great look at one right here. That Ishmael guy. Where is he? I saved his tweets because it's one of the most entitled, hilarious things I've seen yet. Here, the arrogance and entitlement required to think like this. Here's Rami Ismail. He is, from what I can find in my research, born in the Netherlands to an Egyptian father and a Dutch mother. So he's not Iraqi, never lived there, isn't related to anybody there from what I can tell. But let's see what he has to say. Valve will never. They're retweeting an article that says, we call on Microsoft, Sony, and Valve to ban their platforms from hosting 6 Days in Fallujah, blah, blah, blah. Rami Ismail, which is a video game developer or a designer, right? I want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, he's a video game developer. Retweeting the call to cancel a video game. The arrogance and entitlement required to think like this. Man, Eric Kane's coming out with some spicy stuff lately. Valve will never. Microsoft and Sony, I expect better from. Historical revisionism about bad things that happened, whose parents, siblings, and children are still alive to have seen the exploitation of their loss should be unacceptable on Xbox and PlayStation. Then listen to this next article. I guess Xbox and PlayStation really get to choose how content policy applies to what their platform stands for. That the dehumanization of fictional Arabs and Muslims is allowed, we know. He literally says fictional. Are you saying, Rami, by the way, that this stuff didn't happen? I like that their narrative is that the door-to-door cleansing, Jesus, the door-to-door rooting out of the bad guys. Yes, there were way too many civilian interactions, way too many. And we can argue whether or not we should have ever even been there, because as of right now, I think we're still waiting to hear about any of the WNDs that old Bushy told us were going to be there. But it happened. Forces were hiding in homes with families, as using them as shields, and some of them got caught in the crossfire, and that sucks. But it happened. You know what I mean? Like, we talk often about video games and like how, whether they're not realistic enough or they're too real. Remember we had this with Battlefield 5, having the like pink-haired amputee jumping out of the window. This is real. So what is your gripe exactly? Let's see what they do when it comes to historical revisionism against the U.S. or against us. Imagine trying Spec Ops coming out in 2021. That had a 16,000 signature petition addressed to Biden, Trudeau, the U.S., Canadian, and British governments. 16,000. That's it? I don't know. Like, it's just like any other FPS game. They're really going to hate Castle Wolfenstein. Yeah, Rami is a special sort of person. His opinion is all that matters, and everyone else that disagrees is just wrong, regardless of the facts of the matter or reality in general. It's amazing how much he knows about a game that he hasn't even played or experienced yet. How you even see here, this is the point I made. Entitled on the behalf of others. He's Egyptian, born in the Netherlands. He has no personal stake in the entire ordeal and what he keeps insisting. I don't get it. I like, he has always been a douche, but he literally has nothing to do with this. And then let's take a look at how you see here. I mean, it sounds to me like they've cornered somebody whose first language is not English, who isn't embroiled in the American culture battles. Do not buy this land is my land. The devs are extremely mean, and there are no indigenous people on the team. What is this? What is this? These people are insane. The second article, this time on IGN, features conversations between site staff writer Rebecca Valentine and, quote, those with connections to the Second Battle of Fallujah, primarily Arab and Iraqi game devs and members of the video game community, as they discuss the Middle East in media and mistrust of the U.S. military forces. Look, I'm not here to defend the actions that happened. I'm not here to argue whether or not you should buy the game. But the idea that they're continuing to run and try and deplatform this game on the idea that it's going to hurt their reputation in real life is simply not fact-based. It's emotionally driven, and it's co-opted by people like Rami Ismail, who has zero skin in the game, and he pretends to clutch his pearls. Won't somebody think of, look, it's a video game. It's not. Are you afraid that people are going to see what it was really like for the U.S. armed forces that were there? Is that what you're afraid about? Because believe me, it was no picnic for them either. All right. Many of them didn't exactly sign up for that. All right. It was a total mess. I agree. But if you want to talk, you want to have a conversation about whether or not they should have been there, things, that's a conversation maybe, that's more interesting to me. But if you're trying to just shut down a game by using the old Jack Thompson argument, you've got zero credibility, zero science backing it up, and all you're going to do is make me want to buy the game more. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.